Hey, what's up everybody? Matthew Scott here and welcome to MCR Powerhouse. So today I'm going to take you through some techniques to improve the depth of your squat. Now, although I'm not going to be covering a huge amount on this because there are hundreds of different ways to do this, I'm going to show you three really common ones that I found to be really effective in my clinic. So the first technique we're going to talk about is improving the mobility of your hip capsule and loosening up the hip capsule. Now, before we start, what is a capsule? Basically, it's used to describe a group of ligaments that keep a joint together and support the structure, both locally and with the whole body overall. Now, there are a number of ways that you can do this. You can go to a manual therapy clinic, like a myotherapy clinic, or an osteo, or a physio, and you can get them to do what's called a Mulligan's technique, where they attach a seat belt and they put it around their body and around your hip joint, and they move you in the different directions in which they feel you're tight. And bang, presto, you'll have a looser hip capsule and you'll be able to squat a little bit deeper at the end of it. I can almost guarantee that. Another way, which I feel is really cool, is a cheap, effective way, is getting one of these super bands and tying it around a post and doing the technique I'm about to show you. This was made famous by Kelly Starrett. Now, you can also go one step further and make it super objective by attaching a squat rack to a certain level so you can control the angle in which the pressure goes through the hip joint. That's a little bit of more advanced stuff, but basically you can just tie it around any post and get started. So, alright, first off, you can do this in a number of different ways. You can target the hip capsule from so many different directions. I'm going to show you one today that is very effective and I found it works really well for a lot of my clients straight off the bat. So with this one, slide your foot and your leg into the band and pull it right up into the groin. It should basically be right at the bottom fold, so at the bottom of your bottom, if you will. You will pull back as much as you safely can, and I like to personally hold on to the band, but don't pull on it. You don't want to take too much pressure off this band, it's just there for support. You want to go into a lunging position, sit up nice and tall, pat the chest a little bit, squeeze your bottom muscle, and lunge down. Hold for a 2 count, come back up, and then relax the bottom muscle. And then you're going to repeat this for 2 sets of 15. Now, some people like to hold it for a while. I like to do it in repetitions and then hold it for maybe a solid 10 seconds at the end of the 15th rep. I find this works extremely well for me and it's less fatiguing on the legs too. So the second way you can improve your squat depth is through correcting your hip posture, and you can do that by loosening up the bottom muscles. One thing that can determine whether your bottom muscles are too tight or specific muscles in your bottom are too tight is when you squat. If you find that your feet are turning out more and more and that's the only way you can squat down deep, there is a large chance that those muscles are very tight and are contributing to that, amongst other things. So we're going to focus on those muscles right now with this technique. All you need is a ball that I've just shown you, a lacrosse ball. You can use a cricket ball, a baseball, pretty much a massage ball, anything that is just firm, hard. Doesn't matter whether it has little spikes on it or whether it's flat, doesn't matter. The reason why this is so important is one, it can help alleviate back pain. So if you get a bit of pain at the end of squatting, then this is definitely going to help you out, and I strongly recommend you give it a shot. And another reason is when you squat with your feet turned out, I always recommend to people that you pretend there's a clock in front of you and your feet should be at 11 o'clock and 9 o'clock. If it turns out beyond there, it's not going to be good for your hip joint, knee joint, toes. It's not going to help you out. So let's get started. Get the ball and feel a bony part on the side of your leg. So we're not talking about the pelvis right now, we're moving down to the side of the leg here. In anatomy, it's referred to as the greater trochanter. We're going to move our thumb up and diagonal, and you're just aiming for the top corner, the outside corner of your bottom muscle, and that's where you want to place the ball. From there, you just lean on it with the opposite leg. So if I'm putting pressure on my left bottom muscle, I'm going to throw my left leg over my right one. Make sure it's nice and relaxed. And I'll just roll around until I feel a really tender sensation. From there, what I can do is just hold that for 30 seconds to a minute
take nice deep breaths in and out until the muscle just melts over the ball. If I want to really get into the muscle deep and really need it, I can place my foot up on this wall and then I can slide one leg underneath and repeat this process over and over again. And trust me, that will definitely get into the muscle, relax it up quite well. You can try that for about 5 or 6 reps alongside the 30 seconds holding in place, and you will notice that there will just be a whole bunch of pressure lifted off your pelvis, off your lower back, and you will start to squat a little bit deeper too, because now your hip posture has been corrected a little bit.
So the third thing you can do to improve your squat depth is look at muscle control. Now this is one of the things that is so overlooked when it comes to improving mobility and depth when it comes to exercises, whether it be snatch, cleans, squats, whatever, you name it. And the issue is that so many people focus on loosening up the muscles and the hip capsules and thinking that it's because things are too tight, that's the reason, that could be the only reason why you're not squatting deep enough. When in fact, in some cases, it can actually be that the person isn't activating the right muscles or tightening up the right muscles. Always keep in mind that when you are loosening up the muscle, it is usually pretty tight or excessively tight for a reason. It might be compensating for something, whether it's poor posture throughout the day at work, whether it's weakness in certain muscles and they're trying to take over. So whenever you loosen up a muscle, keep that in the back of your mind and think, what else could be going on here? And if you're still unsure, talk to someone who has a bit of knowledge on it, say an exercise physiologist. So what I'm going to talk about right now is when you're in a squat position and how you can train muscle control. So let's just say I'm about to do a couple of back squats. One common thing that can happen is people bow very, very quickly. And that can be tightness, but again, we're talking about muscle control right now. So what can happen is this. And they're pretty much just basically doing a good morning. What you can do to train someone out of that alongside the mobility exercises is a couple of cues. Pout the chest. Nice deep breath. And make sure the cords in their back are tightening up as you go down. The second you notice someone starting to bow, you stop them and make them just hold the position right before they bow for a few seconds and back up. It's going to be hard for them, it is going to be a workout, but that's fine. You just keep practicing that and you'll notice with time that they will be able to control it deeper and deeper and deeper. Now the technique I described, that can be useful for a coach providing cues for an athlete, or it could be helpful for just yourself watching this clip. Feel free to film yourself, have a look at the technique. If you start to notice your back bowing, try those cues, give it another shot and stop, regardless of how shallow it is, and keep practicing just going lower and lower. Alongside the mobility techniques, I can assure you that you will not only be safer, but you'll have a more effective, deeper squat that will get you better results in the long run, whether it be endurance, speed, power, or strength as your goals. So I'd like to thank everyone for checking out the clip, and hopefully it helps you improve the depth of your squat. So from everyone at MCR Powerhouse, I will see you next time. Catch you later.